This is the North Shore Community Association's podcast, September 25th, 2020. Hello again. This is Max Cote, the NSCA Development Agent.
And this is Annie Lafrenière, the NSCA Programs and Communications Coordinator.
Today we have a special treat for you. We will present our second interview with a community member. Following this interview, we will have our usual news of community events and services. This is our second interview of a community member on the NSCA podcast. The objective of these interviews is to showcase community involvement of English-speaking community members. So here's a question for our listeners before I introduce my next guest. What does Michael Bublé, Sidney Crosby, Bret Hart, Lloyd Robertson, and Port-Cartier's very own Debbie Laurie have in common? They are all featured with 39 other known contributors to the Terry Fox Foundation in a new book called Forever Terry. Hello, Debbie. I'm very pleased that you accepted to talk to us today.
Hi.
This is the 40th Terry Fox Marathon of Hope, but you have been involved with the foundation and doing these runs for a while now. When did you start getting involved?
I started getting involved right from the very beginning in 1980 when Terry began his run in St. John's, Newfoundland. I happened to be watching TV that night and I saw what was happening and I got hooked on the story and I followed him all through the summer, right until September when he had to stop his run in Thunder Bay. And then the following week when CTV held their telethon and asked for Lloyd Robertson looked right into the camera and said, "You people out there, get out there and do something spontaneous in your community." So I decided I got together with another teacher, Mary Cormier, and a friend of mine, Donna Paul. The three of us got together. We mapped out a little 10-kilometer route in Port-Cartier, invited students at random to come on a Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. We made our own sponsor sheets. Went to the local sports store, had our own hoodies made. Politically correct. Mine was in French, hers was in English. And following weekend, 14 kids showed up, and we raised $1,200. So
that was your first year.
That was the first.
Wow.
That was the first year, and that one is not recognized as an official Terry Fox run
Before,
because the official runs
right.
began September 1981.
Wow.
A couple of months after Terry passed away.
The book Forever Terry has 44 contributors, and these seem like very known people too. Margaret Atwood, Wayne Gretzky, Tom Cochrane. Can you explain this book to our listeners?
Yeah, basically, it's the book is an idea that the family came up with during the Christmas holidays when they were talking about what to do for the upcoming 40th anniversary. They wanted to do something special, and it was suggested that they put together this type of a book where everyone would submit their own story, why they were inspired back in 1980, or in some cases there are people that have been inspired that weren't even born yet in 1980. And why they're still sticking with the foundation today, why they're still inspired by Terry 40 years later. And they had decided on having a ratio of like 30 to 10, 30 well-known prominent Canadians and 10 what they call, I guess, ordinary citizens that have been involved also. And I received a phone call from Fred Fox late January saying that the family were all unanimous that I had to be in the book, and so he was extending the invitation to participate. And so I was like, thrilled they asked me, proud that they had asked me, and I hopped on board. And then he said, "Well, you're only allowed 1,175 words." And I'm like, "But Fred, you're torturing me. I could do like 1,175 pages." And it's like, "Well, that's all you're allowed."
Right. And
one photo. And anyway, so we had a choice. We could either write our own or be interviewed and have it written for us, but I chose to write my own.
Right. Proceeds from the book go to the foundation as well?
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
I understand.
Yep.
When is the next run, and how can some of the North Shore listeners help you raise funds for the foundation?
Well, this year's run is a virtual run coming up this Sunday on September 20th. People can donate either online. I have a Facebook link on my Facebook page. I've got a link to my web page, my page on the Terry Fox Foundation. Or they can e-transfer money if they prefer, or they can write a check and mail it to me at my home address, make it out to the Terry Fox Foundation. Basically
sure.
that.
And in a way, they could always contact the NSCA if they want to get hold of you.
Sure.
We can
Facebook
reach that together.
So they could, or even Messenger.
I recently heard that you put your retirement on pause for a few months as well.
Yeah, I guess we could say that, but I think it's been on pause for more than a few months. It's basically been on pause since I'd say, when did I retire? 2013. So that first year I really was retired, and I think since 2014 I've been either helping out at the local French high school, or this year I'm back at my old school at Riverview as a teacher's aide or whatever, right. Helping out in the
still
primary
very
classrooms.
Community involved there.
Yeah.
You're also an avid globetrotter, and I've been to every continent except Antarctica, as far as I understand.
Well, I haven't been to South America yet. Sadly, I was supposed to be going there in 2 weeks. I was going to Ecuador in 2 weeks.
So that's where you're aiming to travel next?
Yeah.
South America,
but it's on hold now till 2021.
Well, I'm very happy to have the pleasure to do this interview with you, Debbie. I hope we do this again on another podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed Debbie Laurie sharing her experiences doing the Terry Fox Marathon of Hope. We will present the community events and services.
Do you ever ask yourself as a parent, is my child on track? Do you have questions about your child's speech and language development? Are you curious about what milestones they should be hitting and when? What about the impact of bilingualism or living in an English minority population? Join speech-language pathologist Christy Finlay for an information session. We will be discussing typical development of communication abilities, from birth to kindergarten, in an open format discussion session. Bring your questions and your concerns. She's here to help. This session is offered via Zoom on Thursday, October 1st at 7 p.m. Contact me to reserve a spot, Annie, at a.lafreniere@quebecnorthshore.org, or call me at 418-296-1545. The places are limited.
The 2020-2021 school year has started, and baie-comeau High School is happy to start their battery recycling contest again this year. Everybody can participate. The battery recycling contest is an initiative of Environment Jeunesse in partnership with Appel à Recycler. The contest runs from September to mid-April 2021. The reason we collect used batteries is to safely dispose these in an eco-friendly place. The second reason is that BCHS might even win a prize. You can participate by dropping off your batteries at BCHS in our battery recycling containers. This is the fourth year BCHS participates in this contest. The first year, the school gathered 189.7 kilos. Second year, 140.2 kilos. And last year, a record-breaking 351.7 kilos. Let's keep the momentum going.
Did you know baby sign language gives a voice to children before they can even speak? Given by certified baby sign language instructors, the workshops can be adapted to fit your schedule. They are designed for pregnant couples, parents of newborns and toddlers, parents with children that have speech impairment or delay, children with autism spectrum, grandparents wanting to learn, and daycare educators. Come and learn with us through songs, nursery rhymes, or stories the benefits of signing with your little ones. To reserve a workshop, call 418-296-1545.
A quick reminder that the provincial government has announced that English school boards will have an election on November 1st, 2020. The deadline to be on the electoral list is October 17th. If you wish to be registered on the electoral list or want to know if you are already on the list, you must contact June Main Denis, Returning Officer, Eastern Shore School Board at 418-752-2247. Okay, this is the end of this week's show. We would like to remind you to stay informed on our Facebook page, as all services and activities are subject to change if unexpected situations arise. If you have any comments or suggestions on our show, you can email me at m.cote@quebecnorthshore.org. Tune in 2 weeks from now, where we'll present interviews, services, and community activities on our beautiful North Shore.
And let's not forget to thank our sponsor for this podcast, the Secrétariat aux relations avec les Québécois d'expression anglaise.